So to start with, I want to show you Pexels, like pixels, but with an E. It's a place where you can get free stock footage. I realise as I say this that I might sound like this video is sponsored. It is in no way not sponsored, but you are going to want to use some of the the royalty-free, price-free footage. It's completely free. Have a little flip through. If you click on the video area to start with, you can search for videos. You can get all sorts of them and just hit download. It asks you if you want to donate to the creator. You can do if you want. I'm not about to. I might do it at a later date. There's some absolutely gorgeous stuff. You can search for stuff as well. You can watch it on closer preview. Some horrific sound with that, but potentially a beautiful clip. And you're going to need some stock footage. What I do to start with is I'd watch through the tutorial prior to going and getting stock footage, and I'm just going to get some stock footage as we go. So there's one that I've just got. Let's drop that in. Anyway, this is the clip that I want to start with. It's a lovely clip of water, waves washing into the coastline. And I'm just going to make a new sequence, and I'm going to call that sequence invert. And the first creative colour process that I want to show you guys is the inversion effect. So if you go into your effects editing up here, I've double clicked that, I didn't mean to do that, let's not do that. And you can just search for invert, and it's channel invert, drag it on, and it will invert the colours. Now what does that mean by invert the colours? Well, it's going to take the opposite reading of every single pixel. So this sand at the moment is yellow. When we invert it, it goes blue. The green should go sort of purpley whitey. There's like a hint of purple in it. The shadows, which are black, will go white, whereas the white froth of the water, which is a highlight, will go black. It essentially is just going to do pure opposites. Now if I go into colour editing, just so I've got a colour wheel, you can see here what colours are opposite each other, and that's essentially what an invert is doing on RGB. However, this is where it gets quite powerful, because you can invert on more than RGB. You could invert just the red channels, you could invert based on the green channels, you could invert based on the blue channels. And what that will do, if we invert on the blue, it will mean that everything that was originally blue, so the water, will invert. And let's take it invert off. Everything that fits with blue will invert, everything else will just go blue, which gives you this really wild look. And if we play that clip through, here you go, look, what was the white froth has taken this yellow appeal, what was the green trees has gone blue with shadows all around it. It's quite vibrant. When would you want to use that? Well, you can get quite creative just with these few clips here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down Alt and drag my clip up, so I've got another clip. I'm going to invert that one on the green. I'm going to hold down Alt and drag that one up, and I'm going to invert on the red. So I've got 3 video clips, each inverted on a different setting. And then I'm going to use my pen tool, and I'm going to plot out rough triangles. And I'm going to do this relatively quickly so that you're not hanging about too long. So up to there, that looks somewhere about right. I can always edit it afterwards. And then I'm going to take this one. In fact, that's definitely not. I wanted it to be in the middle, which is like there. So we'll go and tidy that up in a second. Let's come down to there. That second mask. Let's put that on the video above, so that it blocks out this bottom one. There we go. Now we can go back and we can fix our red mask path. Come on, show me the mask. As you can see, it's just having a little bit of a delay. Is it going to show me the mask? Is it going to do that? There we go. Let's just drag it out to the middle. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. And then this bottom video, is that really going on the green? I just don't think that's updating anymore. I think screen recording whilst trying to do 3 inverts is enough to kill the processor in this computer. But there you go. You can see we've got something happening between those, and we could go through and then feather these masks, which should just soften the edges of them. Just going to soften that one as well. Oh, I've put a mask on the inversion. That's why it's not working. That was a silly thing to do. I mean to put the mask on the opacity. And for those eagle-eyed at home, you might have picked up on that right away. There we go. And I'm going to feather that mask as well, just to blend the edges in. So we've got something a little bit like what's going on here, granted. I mean, if we take the original video, just to put that into perspective now, and we just take that clip, let's duplicate it, and then let's turn the inversion off. And let's get rid of the mask because it's duplicated. That was the original clip, right? And then that's what we've made from that clip. So it's the idea of taking something from an existing clip and then reworking it and playing with it and seeing what else you can create. That's kind of slightly hypnotic, actually. A trick that I like to do every now and again is I like to do split frames. So I go through and I cut a clip up into individual frames like this. Let's go through and make quite a few of them. And then I create like this manual transition where it'll just flicker. Let's get rid of that one. So if we turn that video layer back on at the top and play that through. I mean, have a play with that on your own. This is definitely hanging up. I'm looking at my frame rate going up here. I know that if I wasn't screen recording at the same time, I'd get a really nice flickering effect, and then it'd play into the next clip. But yeah, that's inversion. It does quite a nice thing. The other thing that we could do, if I just delete that little bit of a random edit that I did, just drag that out, is I can go through the blend modes of this clip. So if I go into darken, then it'll just let our inverted colours through on the light areas of the channel. If I go on lighten, then we should get the opposite of that. See it coming through now in the darker areas. And we can go through each of the blending modes and just get a nice feel for what we can create. And again, we're just using a single clip of video. That's all we're using, one clip of video. Oh, look at that, that's stunning. The colours in that are absolutely phenomenal. So just from one clip of video, and we've made all these different, it's gorgeous, all these different kind of patterns. Yeah, there's so much you can do with invert, there's so much you can play with. I think of all of them, I really like the subtlety of dark, and I like that pink coming through. And I'd love to explain to you why the pink's coming through. I'm not a colour scientist. But yeah, there you go. That's the inversion tutorial. So your task, I would like you to head over to Pexels. I'd like you to get a clip of video. I'd say it doesn't matter what clip it is, but like this red clip is not the clip. You want a clip that does have some contrasting colours in, and some movement and some change in differentials of colour. So this one would probably work. This one here would definitely work. And then I just want you to go back to the start of this video, play it back through, start with your single layer, invert it, choose the colour you want to invert it on. You could even play with the blend with original mode if you wanted to, because that'll change the look of it as well. Then hold down Alt and drag the video up so you get a second layer. And then, I mean, the mask bit was completely optional. You don't have to do the masking. You can if you want. And then duplicate it again. The only thing that the mask did was it allowed us to see all three of them at exactly the same time. We could have done it differently. We could have done it like this, for all it matters. I just chose to happen to want to do it as a triangle just because that was my creative styling. You might choose to do it like that. And then I put the original layer back on top of it, and I changed that whole mode then to darken, just to give it some level of vibrance. But again, you can do that however you so wish. So have a little play through the inversion tutorial. I mean, I've just done that all in a couple of minutes. I want you to experiment a little bit further, maybe try it with multiple clips, see what happens. When you've made something kind of interesting, maybe do a little screen recording as you process, or just do a series of exports on each layer. and send me the final work over. I'll be intrigued to see what you've done. So this was my final piece, and I just wanted to give you a caveat that I went back to having the triangles to start with because I like the triangles, and because the motion was at the bottom I decided to flip the triangles. I did try for a while putting another video clip over the green one and changing the blending mode of that. That looked pretty cool as well, so you can keep tweaking, layering and playing.